Mewtwo fires a side strike. Jazz, not wanting to commit his final shield, he's putting it all on Ursaluna. Ursaluna commits to the tackle, farm down. What does the opponent have in the back? It's Metagross. They've still got a shield. Jazz over farms. He's going to go straight for the high horsepower. Does the opponent respect the damage? So, welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. My god, do we have a fucking treat for you today. My good friend and faction teammate Jazz is back featured on the channel. Getting any Pokemon to level 50 is a chore. Getting Shadow Pokemon to level 50 is incredibly hard. You need 360 XL candy, but Jazz has managed to max out an entire team. And that would be because all three of these Pokemon have had community days. Machamp featured sometime last year, Dragonite was the most recent comday classic, and obviously Ursaluna was this month's pick. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we pick up a great lead, Dragonite into Giratina, the opponent. Save switches into the tin can, and Machamp is a really solid answer. The opponent, no shield of the cross chop. Jazz goes for the counter farm down. Unfortunately, we don't make it, but we really don't need switch advantage. As both of our Pokemon do absolutely brilliantly against that Giratina. Giratina is most likely going to return. However, if they're on the all Ghost moveset, they're going to have a real difficult time of dealing with this Ursaluna, as Ghost is double resisted due to our normal type in. Giratina does return to the battlefield and they fire off the Shadow Ball. That did absolutely nothing. Jazz now switches up into Dragonite, and holy smokes, they've got a Charmer in the back. We are ABA weak to Charmers. Both Dragonite and Machamp get absolutely feasted when we fire off the Dragon Claw. I think that actually healed Togekiss. We make one more Dragon Claw and Togekiss is going to commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down. You absolutely hate to see it. Ursaluna comes in. We are going to fire off the Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is super effective and Togekiss commits its first shield. The tackles are really chunky, but we get to Thunder Punch. Number two. Is the opponent gonna double shield? Yes, they are. Ursaluna is running out of HP. Jazz looking to commit to the tackle, farm down. They bring back out Giratina. Jazz now very nicely over farms. We are going to have to build up as much energy as possible. We shield up the ominous wind. We go for the high horsepower. But is high horsepower going to be enough to knock out? No, it's not. And I believe that's going to be all she wrote. Jazz desperately trying to tackle down. But unfortunately, that Charmer in the back absolutely fucked our life. Moving on to the next one. We see Mewtwo in the lead, Dragon Breath ripping through Mewtwo. However, we absolutely are not going to appreciate the side strike. We shield up, the opponent switches up into BBD. Most members of the community think BBD stands for Best Buddy Dialga. Well, on this channel, it's Basic Bitch Dialga. The Basic Bitch Pokemon gets absolutely deleted by Machamp. Back out comes Mewtwo. Jazz looking to reach the rockslide. We do make the rockslide, but we are baiting with a cross chop. I really like this play, as the opponent should now throw some energy. The opponent goes for the farm down, and Machamp is absolutely going off. We make one more cross chop. It doesn't knock out, but gets Mewtwo deep into the red. Jazz fires the Dragon Claw. We lose CMP. Can we survive the side strike? No, we can't. In comes Ursaluna. Ursaluna looks for the tackle, farm down. We make it. What is the opponent's final Pokemon? Oh, hello, Metagross. Jazz over farms, going straight for the high horsepower. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not, and they get absolutely wrecked. GG's, and thanks for playing. Hashtag no bait on this channel. Moving on into the next battle, we see Metagross in the lead. Jazz save switches into Machamp, and we are going to fire off the rock slide against Mewtwo. Mewtwo shields it up, so this is pretty much the best case scenario for us, a fighter gaining the shield advantage from a psychic Pokemon. You love to see it. The opponent fires the side strike, down goes Machamp, back out comes Dragonite. We've already seen that side strike does huge damage to Dragonite, so we are forced to commit our first shield. Jazz actually gets outpaced. He is now down 2 shields. Not in the best spot. Can we commit to the Dragon Claw, farm down before they make it? Holy shit, Mewtwo on 1 HP and a dream makes side strike. Number 3, Dragonite just about survives. They look to snipe with Metagross, but all they catch is a superpower to the face, and now it's Ursaluna time. Metagross already at the Meteor Mash. We have no shields, and ouch, this is going to hurt. Does big damage. Jazz does make the Thunder Punch. We haven't even seen the opponent's third Pokemon yet. The opponent doesn't shield. We tackle, farm it all the way down, and it's Dragonite in the back. And Jazz says, no, thank you. Moving on to the next one. We see Yvevtial in the lead. The opponent brings out Zacian, and we answer with Machamp. We are resisting the snarls, and Rockslide does hit for neutral. Does Zacian want to shield it up? No, they don't. They're now deep into the yellow. The opponent has enough for a play rough, but Jazz choosing not to shield. We do survive the close combat. The opponent is going to fire off one more close combat. Jazz commits his shield. The opponent now 4-stage debuff. Machamp looking to counter down. Holy smoke, Zacian makes close combat. Number 3, Jazz chooses to double shield and commit to the counter farm down. Machamp on minimal HP, but a whole boatload of energy. The opponent comes in to Metagross first cross chop, draws the shield, second cross chop, I imagine, is going to land. This will do some nice chip damage on the Metagross. Down goes Machamp. We now come in to Ursaluna. High horsepower would absolutely obliterate this Metagross. They fire off the Meteor Mash. Ursaluna stands strong. The opponent now brings back out the yvevtial. Jazz banks a boatload of energy and makes a pivot back into his Dragonite. Dark Pulse is going to really do a substantial amount of damage. Dragonite, not the bulkiest, but likewise that does mean it hits like a truck. Dragon Claw lands for decent damage. The opponent is going to have to throw, and it's all going to be on Ursaluna. Can we get the tackle farm down before they reach the next Dark Pulse? Yes, we can. Ursaluna now deep in the red. This time Jazz opting for a bait. Does the opponent call the bait? No, they don't. They shit their pants, shield it up, and that means they're about to get obliterated by the high horsepower, and Jazz pulls off a very nice victory with a screenshot for the road. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle, we see Landorus in the lead. Holy smokes, Dragon Breath ripping through Landorus, but likewise Stone Edge would do huge damage. Jazz correctly shields up the Stone Edge. The opponent now makes a switch out into basic bitch Dialga to catch a superpower to the face. The opponent shits their pants, shield it up, and now we hard punish them with Machamp. Machamp outpaces to the cross chop that leaves Dialga deep in the red. We counter, farm them down before they even reach the Iron Head. Machamp, the absolute destroyer of basic bitch Dialga. The opponent now has yvevtial in the back. We build up to the rockslide. We are going to go for a neutral cross chop. The opponent is now down shields. Yvevtial fires the Dark Pulse. Jazz looking to go for the Machamp sweep. We outpace to the rockslide, and rockslide is going to be more than enough to knock out Yvevtial. Get fucking wrecked. Back out comes the Landorus, and the opponent doesn't want the smoke. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle, it's like deja vu. We see another Landorus in the lead. Dragon Breath going to tear this thing apart. Jazz is going to commit a shield on the Stone Edge. Let's see if they bring in a Dialga. Holy smokes, Master League is predictable. No bait. Superpower is going to either do big damage or draw a shield. The opponent does shield it up, and they are now going to be very sad as they see the big muscular Machamp enter the battlefield. Machamp goes for the cross chop. It lands. We farm down. Is it a Yvevtial in the back? No, it's not. It's actually Giratina. If we was running triple Community Day Pokemon, well, actually Dragonite community move isn't superpower, but Machamp's payback would have been nice coverage. The opponent goes for the Shadow Claw farm down, but guess what? Giratina, you might be floating there with your little 6 legs or whatever the fuck them black things are. You might think you're scary, but Ursaluna laughs at your ghost moveset. Shadow Ball does absolutely nothing. The opponent now desperately switches back out into Landorus, and Dragonite is going to get to this Dragon Claw. The opponent desperately shields up. Jazz can safely shield up the Stone Edge. Commit to the Dragon Breath farm down. Stone Edge does draw a shield. Down goes Landorus. Back out comes Giratina. I imagine they are going to fire off the Shadow Ball. Ouch, that hurt. But Dragonite does hang on. We make the Dragon Claw, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. So despite Niantic fucking Ursaluna, giving it tackle is still one of the best answers for Giratina in the game. So moving on into the next battle, we see Dialga in the lead. We are going to stay in, fire off the superpower. The opponent shields it up. We get farmed down. We come in to Shadow Machamp. Shadow Machamp's counters do a lot of damage, but Machamp doesn't appreciate the Iron Heads. We shield it up. They now switch out into Kyogre. Not fantastic. This is something Ursaluna really doesn't want to see. We fire off the cross chop. It lands. We've only got 1 shield remaining, but Jazz is going to have to commit it here, as Ursaluna really doesn't want to see a Kyogre this healthy. We fire 1 counter and the cross chop. If this goes unshielded, we should be able to counter, farm it down. Jazz actually aggressively switches out into Ursaluna to get ahead on some energy. I like that player's tackle. Really doesn't generate energy particularly well, and it is Mewtwo in the back. We are in big trouble. Mewtwo shields up the Thunder Punch, and they are going to fire off a charge move. Side Strike isn't going to knock out, but leaves us deep in the red. The opponent snipes us with Dragon Breath. We are going to have to try and counter, farm him down, but Dialga survives on 1 HP and a dream. Unfortunately, we lose that battle. Moving on to the next one. We see Mewtwo in the lead. This one has been playing with some green paint, and we all know shinies do some more damage, so Jazz choosing to shield up. The Side Strike, Dragon Breath is going to tear him apart. They look to come in to Dialga, and Jazz super quick on his response to the big muscular four-armed fighter known as Machamp. Machamp lands the cross chop, commits to the counter farm down. Back out comes Mewtwo. We make the rock slide, lose. CMP. Mewtwo is going to dump its energy, not wanting to get hit with the rock type coverage. Now we can come back in to Dragonite outpace to this Dragon Claw. Does the opponent want to commit the final shield? Yes, they do. Jazz can now shield this up. We should be able to farm them down before Side Strike. Number 3, the opponent realizes they're going to get farmed down. They switch out into Zekrom, a very interesting choice when Dragonite has so much energy. The opponent immediately shields up the Dragon Claw, and it is time for Ursaluna. Ursaluna tanks the crunch, and it is going to be time for a big fat boom. High Zekrom, by Zekrom, high horsepower, more than enough to one-shot. Back out comes the low health Mewtwo, and Ursaluna looking like it's having a fit. Niantic, what the heck is that animation from Tackle? But either way, we managed to win that game. Moving on to the next one. We see the big extinct Mammoth in the lead. I think Jazz was hoping that Mammoths were extinct, as that is a real core breaker. We switch out into Machamp, and the opponent answers with Lugia. We can hit for super effective with Rock Slides, but Rock Slide really doesn't do too much. We are going to have to shield up the Sky Attack. Jazz looking to go for Rock Slide. Number 2, does the opponent want to commit a shield? Yes, they do. Jazz looking to try and get some shields down, as when shields are down, we can hit that Mammoth with a superpower to the face. The opponent does dump energy. Jazz now comes in to the Ursaluna. It looks like Ursaluna committing to the very aggressive Tackle farm down. This is just a Sky Attack. Ursaluna, respectively bulky, for a shadow Pokemon. Can we tackle farm down before the next Sky Attack? Yes, we can. The opponent's final Pokemon is Giratina, and we're going straight for the high horsepower. And to be honest, that really doesn't do too much damage. Around 45%. The opponent now answers with Mammoth as we look to get off some Dragon Breath on that Giratina. We are going to have to shield up the Avalanche. Avalanche would obliterate both Jazz's and my level 50 Dragonite. Dragon Claw does draw the opponent's final shield. They realise they can't farm down, and Jazz is a fucking genius. I see exactly what he is going to do. We are going to come in, look to commit to the tackle farm down. With the Dragon Breath damage we got on that Giratina, high horsepower is going to be enough to knock out GG's, and thanks for playing. Very nicely done there, Jazz, despite seeing something that beats both our lead and our back Pokemon. Moving on to the next one, we see basic bitch Dialga in the lead. The last opponent shielded up the superpower. Jazz once again going for it. Does the opponent respect the damage? No, they don't. Holy smokes, Dragonite wins the lead. The opponent now comes in to Zacian, so we save switch into our Ursaluna. Ursaluna really isn't going to appreciate the close combats, but holy smoke, Tackle really chunking. The opponent baits us with a play rough. I say bait. It is more expensive, but they really don't want to lower their own defense, as Tackle is already tearing apart this little pink dog-looking motherfucker. Zacian makes one more charge move, this time it is the close combat. We are going to fire off the Thunder Punch as the opponent has lowered defense. They are going to be forced to commit the final shield. Can Ursaluna tank a close combat to the face? Yes, we can. The opponent looks to snipe with Giratina. Jazz super quick on his response. Dragonite was low on HP, but we still make the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw gets Giratina into the red. The opponent commits to the Shadow Claw farm down. Ursaluna comes back in, makes the Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is resisted, but still enough to knock out Giratina. Back out comes the Zacian. We come in to Machamp. We've just got to make the cross chop before a charge move. Machamp outpaces. Cross chop is resisted, but it's going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. So those were the battles with the two most recent Community Day Pokemon, both in their shadow forms. Huge shout out to Jazz for the battle submission, a highly talented elite trainer. So if you'd like your battles featured on the channel, go check out my community tab where all the information is there. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.